when we start to see things in terms of the evolution of our individual soul, everything changes. You know that your soul is here to evolve. Now, I don't know what your soul came here to evolve through, what you came here to heal and grow, and lessons you came to learn, but I know you didn't just come all this way to hang out. You know, that your soul came here with a mission. And so when we start to look at that everything has been for and about my soul's growth, then the story that we tell is very different. And we all tell a story, don't we? Everybody tells a story. You have a story about your childhood, don't you? We all do, and you know what that story is right now. We don't even have to take time for that. And then you have a story about your teenage years, and you have a story about your young adult life, and then the next decade of your adult life, and everybody's got a story about it. But I'm here to tell you that if the story you're telling doesn't empower you to be more and to be more loving and to express in greater ways, if you're telling a story that's disempowering you, it's never going to heal you. It's never going to help you grow or be more or be better. Now, I realize until we understand that everything that we have been through in our life contributes to our soul's growth, then we get a lot of value out of telling the story, don't we? We get together with people and have coffee and tell the story. And then because we're polite people, we listen to their story. And then we call somebody else and get together with them and tell our story. And we listen to their story. And it's fun, right? It's fun. But ultimately, we start to recognize, gosh, maybe that is disempowering. Maybe that's actually holding me back, telling a story that makes me feel small or limited or not enough or in some way diminishes me. So, Joseph, excuse me, I'm going to cough. Joseph in the story knows that he is beloved of God. And this is what he holds on to no matter what happens to him. So it's not that stuff happens, and we all understand stuff happens. We have experiences in our life, and not all of them are good. I get it. The thing is what we do with what we experience. The thing is how we pick ourselves up and how we proceed. The thing is, what do I tell myself about myself in this experience? Or am I just going to be another person who lets this experience be what diminishes me? In every class I teach at the church, I talk about how if we blame or shame or regret, blame is they did it to me. Shame is I'm bad. And that's just icky all over. And regret is, the I coulda, shoulda, woulda. All of that holds us to the past. And as long as you're holding on to that stuff, you never get to be all that God is trying to be by means of you right now. So we have to be willing to let go of those stories of blame and shame and regret so that right now in this moment, in that newness where we create a little opening, a little vacuum, the universe can fill it with something greater that will help us and heal us and move us forward. And so I believe this is what Joseph did. Joseph knew beyond all the appearance, being in the pit and being enslaved. He knew beyond all of that he was beloved of God. So I don't know if you saw this movie or not. I saw it recently, The Butler. I love this movie. I thought this movie was great. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to ruin it for you right now. No, I'm not. I won't. This is the part you would probably get out of any review as far as the line of the story. But I want to talk about it in terms of the evolution of consciousness. So the main character in this movie, he's essentially a slave. And he experiences an extraordinary tragedy when he's very young. He sees his father murdered. And so initially we say, wow, what a horrible, horrible thing. But out of that tragedy, what happens is a tiny little flame in his soul gets fanned. And that flame is, you could have something better than this. Your life could be better than this. You don't have to pick cotton for the rest of your life. And so some years go by, and finally he's a teenager, and he decides to leave the cotton farm. And, I'm sorry, so what happened before that was they trained him to be an indoor slave. So he learned some skills there. And he uses that when he runs away, and he gets hired in a restaurant. And from the restaurant, he goes to a hotel in Washington, D.C. And from the hotel in Washington, D.C., he becomes a butler at the White House for 5 generations of United States presidents. So from essential slave on a cotton farm to butler to presidents and heads of state from all around the world, it's an extraordinary journey. But that was seeded, that flame was fanned with the tragic death of his father. That something good could come out of this. And so what I hold for us today is that we've all been through all kinds of things. And when we start to hold all of those things that we have been through, rather than as points of identification for how broken and wounded and diminished and not enough we are, rather than hold them that way, we say, you know, it was all for my growth. It all got me here. It was all for me to reach for something greater.